Good morning. Good morning, one and all. Hope you're all fit well. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Hope you're all firing on all cylinders. Going to say good morning to Greenway Demo over on Instagram and also Life Behind the Levers also on Instagram. Good morning here on the normal bit of the show too. Alex Latham, to Ken Hatcher, to Gary Muirhead, to Jim Turner, to Mark Whiting, the returning Mark Whiting. Had a message from Mark this morning to say he couldn't watch like yesterday because of lack of internet connection. Employers of the construction world, sort out your internet connections, please, particularly between 10 and 11 of a weekday morning, because people want to watch the show and should be allowed to do so. Just saying. But good morning, everyone. Hope you're all fit and well. I'd like to get your take on something before we get into the show. I'm sure you've probably seen this. This is a reference to a guy who was working as a project manager for the house builder Waits, who apparently has made an offensive post on social media after somebody died in the crowd at make a reference to the death of a West Bromwich Albion supporter Mark Townsend, who died from a medical episode during a match at Wednesday's Hillsborough Stadium the previous afternoon. Sacked for a social media comment. Should that be the case? Personally, I think it probably should, but I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. Does your employer actually have control over what you say and what you do? This is not the first case. We've had others, a lot like it, actually. One fairly recently. I can't remember who the employer was in that case. But yes, lots and lots of, lots of that. So let me have your thoughts on that. Chris Ford just joined us and says, let me take this away. Morning, boys and girls. Up to my neck in mud trying to organise a ploughing match. I hope you're having as much fun as me. Does Dan, the Mystery Machine, is all yours? We shall see. Jim Turner is asking, are you talking about Brailsford, Chris? Are you talking about Brailsford, Chris? Jim Turner has already had a stab at our Mystery Machine, going for the Cabelco Blade Runner. It's a good shout, even though we haven't seen it so far. One other thing that I wanted to show you before we actually press the big go button. In addition to the Mystery Machine, by the way, I've got a mystery item today. I'll get to that in a moment. But I mentioned yesterday the fact that I took my drone to MINExpo in Las Vegas last week, basically to see if I could fly it indoors. Turns out I can. And I did film, I filmed loads of stuff, but I wanted to show you just a very quick clip because, trust me, nobody else has got this view. Take a look. Gotta love that, right? That is a big P&H rope shovel bucket that was on the Komatsu stand, obviously on the Komatsu stand. Yeah, drone working very, very well indeed. We'll come back to all of that sort of nonsense in a moment, including both the Mystery Machine and the mystery item. But first, this. Yeah, I'm going to say good morning to our friend Mantas Umbrasas, who is over on Instagram. Not on Instagram, he's on LinkedIn. For some reason, his comments aren't showing over here, but I can see him over on LinkedIn. So good morning to you, and thank you for joining us. Haven't seen you for a while, so good to have you back, my friend. Dimmerex Turkey have just joined us over on Instagram. Lots of people over on Instagram, actually, but all of that is an aside. Just going back to the talk about Chris Ford getting ready for a ploughing match. Jim Turner asked if this was at Brailsford. Chris Ford has responded, yes, Jim, all going well at the moment. It's stopped raining, which is good news. One of my dogs needed to go out for a pee at about 3:30 this morning. Went out, we were out for about 5 minutes. Soaked. It was that, that drizzle that you get that just doesn't feel like there's much going on and soaks you to the skin. It was one of those. All that's an aside. It is Wednesday, the 2nd of October. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony, the Walrus of Demolition. In today's show, we're touring the Liebherr stand at MINExpo and focusing on the game-changing T264 haul truck. Speaking of haul trucks, we're taking a closer look at Hitachi's autonomous haulage solution, which they had on display at MINExpo as well. And we're back with Caterpillar and Komatsu as the two industry giants battle for the attention of visitors again at MINExpo in Las Vegas. Plus, in my morning monologue today, we'll be discussing mindset. Yes, mindset and how it can impact everything from customer services in shops and restaurants to industry attitudes towards sustainability. We'll get to all of that in just a wee moment. But first, we do have, we've got a mystery machine. I'll do the animation for that, but I'm going to show you the mystery item as well. So, mystery machine animation first. I'll show you the mystery machine in just a second, but among the many gifts and bits of merch that I was given while I was over in Las Vegas, I received this. I guess that's as good a way of holding it as any. Can you tell me what you believe that to be? And if anybody can get it, they can have it. See if you can work out what that is. We'll come back to that in just a moment, but we do need to do the usual thing, which is the mystery machine. There you are. That is what you're working with today. Erin Construction Development over on Instagram just joined us. Good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen, or anything else you care to be known as. Your pronouns are your choice. I have no say in the matter. So there is your mystery machine. Let us know what you think about that. And also, I'll take that away very quickly. I will remind you, that is our mystery item. We don't do mystery items here, but if anyone would like to take a guess at what that might be, they can have it if they want it. Life Behind the Lever says, knowing how many hats you received, probably another cap. It is not a cap in this instance. It is not a cap in this instance. I will tell you, it's quite cool. There's your clue. So yes, while you're guessing the mystery machine, let me. I was going to remind you of the question of the day, but I don't think I've even posted it. So it's in the chat now, and I'm going to remind you, not regardless, because that's what we do. Yeah, this morning's question of the day comes once again from the very darkest recesses of my brain. And it is this: what is the strangest place you have ever slept? Now, I do have a couple of contenders. I once slept on a bench in the snow outside a Bavarian hotel because I was too drunk to figure out how to get in. But my personal favourite, and I use the term favourite loosely, I once slept on the roundabout at the Elephant and Castle in London. Once again, I was, as Paul Whitehouse would say, I was very, very drunk. I woke to discover that A, I had spent the night on a roundabout, and that B, I was in the possession of a half-eaten doner kebab. I have no idea if I bought it or if I picked it up along the way, and I've certainly no idea whether I'd eaten the half that was missing. But what about you? What is the strangest place that you have ever slept? That's what we need to know today. Yep, that's brought us up to date with the chat. Don't forget, our mystery machine looks like that. I'll show you a smidge more. There you are. If you've got any guesses on that, I'd love to hear from you. And also, our mystery item looks like that. Yes, looks like that. If you've got any thoughts on what that could possibly be, let me know. Let me know in the chat. We'll come back to all of that in just a moment, because it is time to get on with the show, starting with a bit of this. If you were here yesterday, you'll know that I was talking about the Liebherr T264 battery electric, fully autonomous truck that Liebherr have developed in conjunction with Fortescue Mining. Oddly enough, although we're talking about it, I didn't get much of a chance to actually show you the machine that we were talking about. So we're going to put that right today. Well, this is our film. I'm in front of the camera, but the brains Fred behind the camera made it look like this. Take a look.
I'm Mark Anthony from Diggers and Dozers, and this is the Liebherr stand at MINExpo 2024. The first standout machine on the Liebherr stand was actually unveiled on the opening day of the show. It's the T264 battery electric, fully autonomous dump truck that's been developed in conjunction with Fortescue Mining. Liebherr kept this machine under wraps, and with good reason, because this is a world first.
Pretty smart, I think you will agree. Liebherr T264 developed in conjunction with Fortescue Mining, or Fortescue Zero as they are also known. No guesses as yet on our mystery machine, no guesses or correct ones on our mystery item either. So let me show you a bit more mystery machine. I think we can probably figure out what type of machine it is, but I need a make and a model if you would be so kind. And while we're about it, mystery item. And don't forget, this is up for grabs. If you get it, if you get the right answer, I'll send it to you. Simple as that. Keep the guesses coming. While you're doing that, I'll do this.
If you are enjoying this episode, please consider supporting the show. You can leave us a tip at buymeacoffee.com/demolition news.
Our question of the day today is, where is the strangest place that you have slept? I said that I'd slept on a roundabout. Not proud of it, but I did do that. Jim Turner has come back and said he slept once on a speaker the size of a wheelie bin in a club. I was well pissed at the time. I think that's kind of a given, isn't it? If you have had enough to drink, you will sleep pretty much anywhere. But good morning to Ricky Webb over at East Coast Demolition, all the way over in the mighty US of A. And my lord, did I enjoy myself in the US of A last week. Good morning to you, Ricky. Let's have a look. Alex Latham has got a guess on our mystery machine. It's not a correct guess, but it's a guess nonetheless. He reckons it could be the Komatsu PC 2000 LC. It is not. It is not. Ken Hatcher, I'm too sensible. He only sleeps in bed. Ken, trust me, until you've slept on a roundabout, you haven't lived, my friend. Don't take that as advice. That's a very, very, very bad idea. Now, Hitachi. Let's talk about Hitachi. I think I explained yesterday that the setup in MINExpo went Caterpillar, Komatsu, Liebherr, and then just around the corner with Hitachi. All of those major manufacturers, Komatsu, Liebherr, and obviously Hitachi had trucks on display, and the various degrees of different power systems and what have you. But there's also different ways of operating the machines, and Hitachi were talking about all things autonomous.
In the fast-evolving world of mining, efficiency, safety, and innovation are key to staying ahead. Hitachi Construction Machinery's autonomous haulage system, AHS, is leading the charge, transforming the way mines operate. Hitachi AHS is designed to support a smooth transition from conventional to autonomous operations. The seamless interaction between manned and autonomous trucks within the autonomous operating zones allows mines to gradually test and implement AHS at their own pace. This flexible approach reduces barriers to entry and adapts to the specific needs of each mine. In one of our successful deployments, 28 optimized autonomous haul trucks worked together with over 60 manually instrumented vehicles, including light vehicles, graders, and haul trucks, demonstrating the seamless integration of automation. At Hitachi Construction Machinery, we understand the costs of operational disruptions and have designed our AHS to be resilient, minimizing disruptions even in the face of transient network issues. Less reliant on a continuous data connection, Hitachi AHS ensures that trucks continue to operate safely, even when communication is temporarily lost. This resilience maximizes productivity while maintaining operational safety standards. Hitachi Construction Machinery's strategic commitment to open autonomy and interoperability will drive innovation and flexibility in mining operations. By working towards support for open AHS interfaces, Hitachi AHS will enable fleet optimization across all trucks, regardless of manufacturer. In the future, this compatibility will provide flexibility and ensure longevity, allowing mines to adapt and grow without being locked into a single vendor's ecosystem. Safety is at the heart of everything we do. Hitachi AHS is built on a functional safety architecture, aligned with internationally recognized ISO standards. A dedicated network for R-stop functionality ensures that safety controls are always available, regardless of network conditions. Our trajectory control and object detection systems further enhance safety, keeping personnel and equipment protected at all times. With over 144,000 hours of operation and 0 lost time injuries, Hitachi AHS safety record speaks for itself. Understanding the complexities of implementing new technology, we offer flexible commercial models to meet our customers' diverse requirements. This makes the transition to AHS more accessible, reducing financial barriers and operational risks. Our AHS business unit works with our customers from concept to operations, providing crucial guidance during the study and planning phase, support during implementation, and ongoing optimization advice during operation. Hitachi Construction Machinery stands by its customers every step of the way. At our Technological Center of Excellence, our experts are available 24/7 to provide reliable remote support and monitoring. Ready to respond to any severity level, our team ensures the fastest resolution times without the need for escalation delays. Together with the AHS business unit, our Technological Center of Excellence maximizes productivity, minimizes downtime, and improves lifecycle costs for our customers, all while upholding our safety promise. Hitachi AHS is proven to be operationally ready for the toughest mining conditions. With over 1.6 million kilometers traveled and 58 million tons of material moved, our AHS trucks are a testament to Hitachi Construction Machinery's commitment to quality and performance. Hitachi Construction Machinery's autonomous haulage system is not just about innovation. It's about delivering real-world solutions that drive productivity, safety, and sustainability in mining. As we look to the future, we remain committed to empowering mines worldwide with the tools they need to succeed. Discover how Hitachi AHS can help your mine achieve its full potential. Speak to us today.
Well spotted. Mr. Hatcher says black smoke out of that dumper. Yeah, black smoke, but no operator to breathe it in. I guess that's is that a step in the right direction? I'm not entirely sure if it is. Right back to our mystery machine, which currently looks like this. We've had a bit of a coming together here. Our friend Mantis over on LinkedIn has just said it's a JCB 20 tonner. Chris Ford is going for the JCB 220 or JS 220, which is the 20 tonner. It's not one of those at all. Let me show you a bit more. There you are, a bit more undercarriage, if that helps at all. But nobody's got the right make. Well, no, actually, that's not strictly true. Somebody did get the right make, but entirely by fluke. Maybe that's a clue. And still no guesses on our mystery item. No guesses at all on our mystery item. Looks like I'm going to be hanging on to that for the time being, until I can find somebody else to palm it off to. Keep the guesses coming on both the mystery machine and the mystery item. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on all of that. Be back with some more Caterpillar in just a moment. Somebody's just commented, mystery item, a folding hat. It is not a folding hat. I mean, I can see where you're coming from. Is there such a thing as a folding hat? And would it need a hook? But it's not. It's not one of those. Mystery item, a seal installer. It is not a seal installer. I tell you what, I'm going to put you out of your misery. I will give this away at some point. So there you are. That is the mystery item. Let me take that off the screen. You need to see this in full effect. Yes, there you are. That. Can you see that? Can you see it? There you are. Now, even though I've unfurled it, you're probably wondering right now, what is it? That. It's a fan. It's a Caterpillar fan. It's a Caterpillar financial fan. So it's probably a Caterpillar financial. No, pretend I didn't say that. But yes, when we were in Las Vegas and it was 40 degrees outside, this was probably the most desirable giveaway in the whole of the exhibition. So yes, it's a fan. There you are. Now, going back to Mystery Machine, Alex Latham reckons it could be a Komatsu PC210 LC I-11. It could be. It isn't. I'll show you a smidge more. There you are. Yes, it has a bucket. I'm sure that narrows it down enormously. Keep the guesses coming. A Caterpillar. Okay, if you say so. Yes. So Mystery Machine is still a mystery item. No longer. Where were we? Yes, I did mention Caterpillar, didn't I? Caterpillar and Komatsu were both producing videos of their own on the various days of the show. So this is Caterpillar, day 2.
Welcome to day 2 of MINExpo 2024. I'm Kate Mitchell and I'm here on the Caterpillar show floor, as you can probably tell by the yellow iron behind me. We're well known for our machines and it's really exciting to see them in person. But this year, we're focusing more than ever before on our Beyond the Iron offerings, the technology, solutions and services to help you address challenges across your operation. Today, I'm going to share with you some of our CAT MineStar technology offerings we're showcasing at this year's exhibit. MineStar is a leader in mining technology innovation, offering solutions that range from fleet management to fully autonomous machine operation. And these solutions are scalable, so they can meet your needs at every stage of your technology journey. We've brought dozens of technology experts to MINExpo to help visitors learn more about what we offer and identify the right solutions that can help them optimize every aspect of their operations. We have dedicated conversation areas where we're explaining the benefits of MineStar solutions for surface and underground operations. Visitors will be able to interact with our fleet management solutions, learn more about material management capabilities that help sites keep track of ore, discern the grade and blend, see the quantity and location, and manage the material flow with precision, and explore a new solution called precision mining that helps deliver more precise and efficient extracting and processing of ore. We're also demonstrating MineStar Health solutions that help you unlock the power of machine data to improve equipment availability and reliability. The machines on the show floor also provide an opportunity to see and experience technology. This 798 AC mining truck is equipped with MineStar Command for Hauling, our fully autonomous haulage system. Command provides safer, more consistent and efficient hauling that results in greater productivity. Trucks equipped with Command are operating autonomously right now around the world, and have moved billions of tons of material without an operator on board. The two underground loaders on the show floor, the CAT R2900XC and the R1700XC, are also equipped with Command. Command for underground applications enables the remote operation of LHDs from a safe distance, even above ground. This not only enhances safety by reducing human exposure to hazardous conditions, but also increases operational efficiency by enabling continuous operation. These loaders are also equipped with MineStar collision awareness, which enhances situational awareness by alerting operators to potential hazards and preventing interactions between equipment and personnel. We're showing a simulation of Command for Underground in one of our 3 remote operator stations located on the show floor. And the other 2 are actually live, providing an opportunity for visitors to remotely run a CAT drill or operate a CAT dozer located 445 miles away at our Tanaha Hills Demonstration and Learning Center near Tucson, Arizona. Command enables operators to be removed from hazardous conditions and located in a safe, comfortable, on-site or off-site location while still maintaining productivity. We're also showcasing a variety of MineStar solutions on our demonstration stage. This stage features videos of technology equipped with machines working in the dirt. Topics include loading and hauling safety, autonomous surface haulage, underground autonomy, underground productivity and safety solutions, and material management. This is just a glimpse of the technology that's shaping the future of mining. There are many additional solutions available today, and there are more innovations on the horizon. Visit cat.com/MINExpo for more updates from the Caterpillar show floor.
Interesting stuff from Caterpillar. One of the things that I came away from ConExpo in 2020 and 2023, and also from MINExpo as well, exactly the same feeling, is that a lot of these companies, the Caterpillars, Komatsus, Hitachis, Liebherrs, Bobcats of this world, are now technology companies that also produce heavy iron. Interesting stuff. Ken Hatches, first of all, says CAT is massive out there. They certainly are. Every time there was a demonstration of something on the Caterpillar stand, it was absolutely heaving. And he also says technology is never ending. They really are pushing the envelope, I have to say. We've had another guest on our mystery machine from Alex Latham, who reckons it could be the Komatsu PC130 LC-11. It is not, so let me show you a smidge more. There you are. There's a bit of cab. Does that help in any way, shape, or form? I'll take that away because we've had another comment. When I showed you this, the Caterpillar fan, the collapsible fan, I thought that Jim Turner had said Plapperpillar, which didn't make any sense whatsoever, but he immediately came back and said, sorry, Flapperpillar, fat fingers. Yes, it is a problem for all of us, I'm afraid, Jim, but yes, it is. It's a Caterpillar fan. No, as it turns out, not a lot of people knew that. I'm going to be right back. We've done Liebherr, we've done Hitachi, we've done Caterpillar. Back in just a moment with some Komatsu.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
It just occurred to me, obviously the MINExpo show in Las Vegas was on last week. It opened on the Tuesday, which means that day 2 was the Wednesday, i.e. 1 week ago today. So we've just had day 2 on the Caterpillar stand, so exactly 1 week later, and it's day 2 on the Komatsu stand, exactly 1 week later. Take a look.
Hi, Amanda Casson, project manager on the strategy team. Day 2 was a huge success. I'm so excited. The excitement from day 1 just led the energy for day 2. Not only with the modular ecosystem discussions that are now going on, but also with the F1 driver, Jensen Button, showing up and interacting with our team.
What an amazing setup we have here. It's absolutely stunning.
So excited to launch the modular ecosystem here at MINExpo. If you get a chance, you haven't already come upstairs, come check us out at booth 7132. We will be more than excited to walk you through our new solutions.
couple of things. I didn't see Jensen Button. Not sure I'd have recognised him anyway because I don't really do motorsport. However, you just saw at the end there the F1 simulators. My son Fred had a go at that, had a drive around the Las Vegas Formula One track. He did okay. Didn't crash too much. Don't think he's got a future in Formula One, but hey, he seemed to enjoy himself. But while I didn't see Jensen Button, while I was stuck up on top of one of the big electric diggers from Liebherr, and Gene Simmons. If anybody knows Gene Simmons, the bass player from the band Kiss, was on the Liebherr stand. I've no idea why, but I spotted him, and then a couple of minutes later, my son Fred spotted him as well. So there we are. Now, Dan Cullen is a guest at the Mystery Machine today. Good morning, Dan, by the way. He's arrived late. He's a guest at the Mystery Machine, even though he hasn't even seen it. So, Dan, we're almost at an end. So I'm going to call it a day on this in just a moment. But that is the Mystery Machine. We're actually out of videos. So unless somebody gets this in the next 15, 20 seconds, then I'm going to call it a victory for me, which will be a bit of a surprise because I was expecting somebody else to get that. I'll leave it up on the screen because in just a moment I'm going to roll the end of show stinger just before leaping gazelle-like over into my morning monologue. If you can't stick around for that, then do please stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, friends, and your colleagues, and I hope to see you again very soon. But if you do have the time and the inclination, I will be back with my morning monologue in just a moment, and I'm going to call it I Win Today's Mystery Machine. And I can tell you the Mystery Machine is, in fact... Play, damn you. There you are. That right there is a Kobelco. Let me try and read my writing. It is a Kobelco SK390LC-10 is what that is. Was it the colour that fooled you? Obviously, here in the UK, we are familiar with that turquoisey, greeny blue of Kobelco. In America, however, they're that colour. They are yellow. So, yes, threw you off. So I'm going to claim the victory there. I'm going to put my initials against that, give myself 3 points. So as it stands today, we are a couple of days into the month of October. Dan Cullen is on 3 points, and yours truly is also on 3 points. Back again with more Mystery Machines tomorrow. Now, I promised you a monologue, and a monologue you shall jolly well have immediately after this. Mindset is the lens through which we view the world, shaping our behaviours, decisions, and responses to challenges. It influences not only our personal lives, but also the success or failure of businesses and industries. A fixed mindset limits possibilities, whereas a growth mindset opens the door to adaptation and innovation. When individuals, companies, or entire industries adopt a proactive, solution-oriented mindset, remarkable transformations can occur. Conversely, a rigid and resistant mindset can stifle progress, causing stagnation in areas that desperately need evolution. Let me illustrate this with a couple of examples, one from the world of customer service and another from heavy industry. During last week's visit to Las Vegas, I was again struck by the quality and consistency of customer service in the city's hotels and restaurants. It's easy to chalk this up to the fact that service staff in the US depend on tips to supplement their wages, creating an incentive to provide stellar service. However, I personally believe there's more to this than just financial motivation. The staff I encountered went beyond the basics, displaying genuine enthusiasm, warmth, and an eagerness to ensure that every guest felt valued. This wasn't just about earning a higher tip. It was a reflection of a mindset focused on service excellence. Contrast that with the declining customer service standards here in the UK. Over time, the expectation of good service seems to have diminished. Staff in hotels, restaurants, and retail stores often appear indifferent or disengaged. The difference is striking, and it made me think about the role mindset plays in these contrasting environments. In Las Vegas, there seems to be a collective understanding within the hospitality industry that excellent service is essential. It's not simply about wages, it's about the ethos. The mindset in that industry fosters pride in providing top-tier service, and it's contagious. Customers leave feeling appreciated, and that feeling drives loyalty. Meanwhile, in the UK, where tipping culture is less prevalent, there seems to be a lack of motivation or urgency to deliver exceptional service. When service is viewed as an obligation or something to endure, it results in disengagement. But when service is seen as an opportunity to create a positive experience, it shifts the entire dynamic. Now, before I go on, think about this from a retail perspective. Whenever I visit one of my local supermarkets, I always use the self-checkout. Now, the system fails me regularly. I can't scan my goods anywhere near as fast as the person that is paid to do it. But I just can't be asked dealing with somebody who sees me as a nuisance or an irritant. Which coincidentally but neatly brings me on to my next point, which includes remote machine operation and autonomy. Faced with numerous crises, including rising costs, environmental pressures, and labour shortages, mining companies have demonstrated an ability to adapt quickly and effectively. They recognise the growing financial and environmental cost of fossil fuels and have partnered with major equipment manufacturers to develop non-fossil fuel solutions. The move away from traditional energy sources wasn't just about survival. It reflected a shift in mindset towards sustainability and innovation. And the mining sector didn't stop there. When confronted with a lack of available and local workers, they embraced technological solutions like remote equipment operation and autonomous machines. These are bold, future-forward moves, demonstrating a willingness to break with tradition and adopt new ways of working. The mindset here is clear. Challenges are not roadblocks, but opportunities for reinvention. Mining companies recognise that clinging to old ways of operating would only lead to decline, so they proactively sought out new approaches to secure the future of their industry. Now, contrast that with the demolition and construction industries. While these sectors also face pressures related to sustainability and labour shortages, they've been much slower to adapt. Even as other industries embrace electrification, remote operation and autonomy, demolition and construction firms continue to debate the viability of these innovations. Why the hesitation? Is it a fear of the unknown? Is it a reluctance to invest in new technologies? Or is it fundamentally a question of mindset? The construction industry has long been steeped in tradition, and there's a certain comfort in sticking to what is familiar. However, this resistance to change could also be a reflection of a fixed mindset. When your default is to view new technologies and processes with skepticism or to see them as disruptive, it becomes difficult to embrace them. Yet the longer the industry waits to adopt these solutions, the more it risks falling behind. The mining industry serves as a powerful example of what can be achieved when an industry collectively shifts its mindset towards innovation and problem solving. It's not just about adopting new technologies, it's about adopting a new way of thinking. In the end, whether we're talking about individual behaviour, customer service, or the transformation of entire industries, mindset is the foundation upon which success is built. A fixed mindset keeps us tied to old ways of thinking, but a growth mindset enables us to envision and pursue new possibilities. Those industries, companies, and individuals that adopt the latter are the ones most likely to thrive in an ever-changing world. In conclusion, mindset is the invisible hand that shapes both personal success and industry transformation. Whether in Las Vegas hotels, where service staff go the extra mile to create exceptional experiences, or in the mining industry, where companies embrace bold innovations, mindset drives outcomes. By adopting a growth mindset, individuals and industries alike can unlock new levels of potential, ensuring that they are not just reactive, but proactive in shaping their futures. What do you make of that? Is it all a matter of mindset? That's what I would like to know. Let's have a look. Okay, so go back to the mystery machine. Dan Carter says, "Oh, damn, but you beat me. Had Kobelco in mind." Either that's a funny camera angle, it's got a lovely amount of clearance between the upper and lower structures. It does seem quite big, doesn't it? Yeah, I hadn't noticed that before, but well done, Mark. Yeah, it helps if I can choose what bits I show. Let's have a look. Extra Space Solutions UK gone into administration, loss of up to 100 jobs. Becoming a bit of a daily thing now, isn't it? Well, obviously, it's a cliche. It's trite and everything else, but thoughts go out to the employees and the supply chain as you find myself saying it so often these days that it's very hard to sound sincere. Let's have a look. So, Jim Turner. In any sector, a can-do and problem-solving mindset will pay dividends. If people have pride in their work, they are worth so much more to a company, even though a lot of companies don't realise it. I'm going to single out. I took my family, son, daughter, and wife to the Wynn Hotel, which is dead posh, one of the more expensive hotels, which is why we only had breakfast there. While I was in Las Vegas, and it's lovely. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. You're looking out over the pool, and the Las Vegas Sphere over to your right hand side. Food is exceptional. But we sat down and a guy came over and said, I can't remember his name, but he said, I'm going to be your server today. Literally poured us some ice water, got us a cup of coffee. Then he came back and he said, actually, I'm going off shift now. Your server will now be Lester. And Lester was, I don't know, probably 22, 23, young fella, big bloody arms on him. I don't know what he was doing in his spare time, but he looked like he spent a lot of time in the gym. But the very fact that I remember Lester, it kind of shows you how much how hard he worked. Nothing was too much trouble. And I don't mean he was one of these intrusive, is everything okay with your meal, which people only ever seem to ask when you've got a mouthful of food and are incapable of answering. Just an exceptional, constantly topping up the coffee, topping up the water, making sure everything was okay, keeping us updated. Just absolutely brilliant. And to the point where, I mean, I would recommend people go for breakfast at the Wynn if they find themselves in Las Vegas anyway, but even more so as a result of having experienced Leicester level service. And you think about that from, as I say, I mean, I go to my local supermarket. I've got a Sainsbury's in that direction, an Aldi in that direction, and a Lidl in that direction. And in all three, I use the self-service checkout because I just can't be asked dealing with people that basically grunt at you and there's no engagement. They don't want to be there, and they really don't want you to be there. Think about that from your experience. And I know we've had the opposite of this. I know Gary Muirhead, for example, singled out the service that he's received from SMT GB Scotland. I guess that's GB Scotland, or is it SMT Scotland? It doesn't matter. But since he's taken delivery or took delivery of a Volvo machine at his previous employer, he has had exceptional service, and it stands out. And yet there are major manufacturers, and I do mean major manufacturers in the UK, where if there are a couple of companies, I won't name them because I don't think it's fair to do so, because I haven't experienced the service or lack thereof myself. But there are major companies where if I hear them mentioned, it is always accompanied by, products are fantastic, but the service is bloody terrible. And that is purely a mindset. It is purely a mindset. I'm going to say good morning to Mick Norton, who is here. Morning, Mick. And think about it from an even wider perspective. I mean, I've been talking about this from mindset in terms of adopting innovation, adopting new ways of doing things, mindset in relation to customer service and that kind of thing. Think about it from a health and safety perspective. Health and safety is not a set of RAMs. It's not a booklet that explains health and safety. It's not toolbox talks. It is a mindset. It is a mindset. And I'm sure, I'm fairly sure I mentioned this before. I was on a demolition site a good few years ago now, actually. And cut a long story short, I was being given the guided tour, and with me on the guided tour was somebody very, very high up in the client company, not the demolition contractor, but the client company. So I'm there. I've got hard hat, goggles, gloves, high vis trousers, safety boots. I've got on all the gear. And, the various members of the demolition team were similarly equipped. But the guy from the client company had a hard hat, had glasses, had a high-vis jacket and just a pair of jeans, but he didn't have any gloves on. We pulled up to one of the entry points, and there was a guy manning the entry point from the demolition contractor who was probably 19 years old. At best, he was probably 19 years old. Very, very young, obviously inexperienced. And he pulled the client. And he said, you can't go in. My job says you haven't got gloves on. You are not going in. Now, it's one of those that could have gone either way. But sure enough, we had a spare pair of gloves. We handed them to the client. The guy at the gate was happy. We went about our business. We went back to the office, and I can tell you that the client then came into the demolition contractor to congratulate them on the training of the guy that had stopped him. He said, "We have rules on this site. I was breaking them, and somebody at 19 years old told me I was breaking them." And that is a mindset. That's not just training. That is a mindset. It really is. Jim Turner says, "I think the level of attentiveness in the machinery world has got better. I've had very good and swift services from JCB and Hitachi over the last couple of years." I'd love to agree with that, Jim, and I think, but perhaps by and large that is the case. Perhaps industry wide there has been an improvement, but as I say, there are a couple of major manufacturers whose UK representatives seem to have gone in the other direction. As I say, I'm not going to name them, but I can tell you, I had a conversation with a representative of one of those companies, and he actually asked. He said, "You've got your ear to the ground. You speak to people all the time. What sort of feedback are you getting about our after-sales service?" And I said, very honestly, not good. Not good. I hear lots of bad feedback. They're slow to react, turn up when they feel like it, parts aren't always in stock, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we then went our separate ways. And about a year later, he called back and he said, doing an update, he said, "What is your experience?" And I said, "Well, I've got to be honest with you. If anything, it's got worse." And his response was, "Had a funny feeling you want to say that." They had a year, it's probably more like 18 months, to put things right, and they'd actually got worse. And I find it particularly frustrating, and I know we're talking about predominantly about mindset here, but I find it particularly frustrating in a world in which you get lots of people talking about working in partnership with contractors and plant hirers. We are your solutions provider, we're your equipment partner, blah, 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 blah. That needs to be a two-way street. Being a partner doesn't just mean taking cash when you need a new machine, or taking cash when you need to get a repair done, or you need parts. It should be a partnership whereby you are both pulling in the same direction. And I do think that often that is not the case. It's not the case. And when you think about the amount that you're spending, it's still ringing in my head that fleet of TT64s that Liebherr are supplying to Fortescue Mining is going to be in excess of $2.2 billion. I'm assuming American dollars, maybe Aussie dollars, but it's a shit ton of cash, whatever way you cut it. And you would hope that Liebherr, and I'm sure they will because, it's Liebherr, that's not just a case of here's 360 battery electric autonomous trucks. That is a commitment to keep those trucks moving 24/7, 365 for the next decade or so. And if they fail to do so, you would understand Fortescue Mining being very public and very vocal in their objection to that failure of their partnership. I don't expect that to happen. I expect those machines to run problem-free by and large, and if there are any problems, I expect Liebherr to fall over themselves to put it right. Partly because it's a big client, but also because that's the Liebherr way. But in my experience, that is not everyone's way. It is a mindset. And I think applying mindset also to new arrivals in the industry. I guess our newest arrivals are probably the Chinese. And this is not leveling criticism at the Chinese because they're Chinese. It's just because they are newcomers to the industry. You turn up in a new and untapped market, be it the UK, America, Middle East, whatever it might be. You turn up. You can't just turn up with a range of equipment and expect to be successful overnight, because it's not just about equipment, it's about after-sales support. So you need a ready source of parts, ideally within 24 hours. And obviously some of the Korean companies have now set up shop in sort of Central Europe so they can fire off their parts to the various parts of the continent. But you also need people on the ground. And I think, to use an example, look at Lugong. When Lugong first arrived in the UK, they completely committed. They set up Lugong Direct down in Portsmouth, I think it is, and they committed. They put people on the ground, they put parts on the ground, they put machines on the ground. Everything was in place, so that they weren't just competing on price; they were competing on availability of parts, on after-sales support as a whole. And as a result, Lugong are now, I wouldn't go so far as to say they're a mainstay, but they are very much an integral part of the UK construction and demolition industry because they committed. And that commitment is a mindset thing. They could have dabbled, which, we've certainly seen some Japanese do in the past. We've seen some Koreans do in the past, and we're seeing Chinese do now, dipping your toe in the water. We'd like to be in the UK, but we're not really there yet. If you want to be here, you've got to be here. You've got to be here all guns blazing, or it doesn't fly. Mick Norton says, a few years ago, a utilities company was excavating outside my main entrance, and their work ethic and health and safety observance was second to none, as well as not forgetting the needs of me, the customer. I wrote to their MD thanking him and his team for all their work and was delighted to hear that each of the 4 workers received a £100 bonus at the end of that month. Well, I wonder how many people do that. When we were leaving the Win, I keep going back to the Win, but when we were leaving the Win, what's it called? I think the restaurant is called Tableau. It's very posh. But we were leaving Tableau, and I actually called over to say, could I quickly see the manager? And it wasn't the manager, but it was, it was a duty manager or something like that. And I actually said, we've just been served by Lester. He is absolute. You should be proud. He is absolutely exceptional. Now, I don't know whether that was fed back to the guy in question. I'd like to think that somebody gave him a pat on the back, be it a financial one or an actual pat on the back. I wonder if we do enough of that. Are we at least partly responsible for the service that we receive? I wonder. And I'll come back to this in just a moment. No, I won't even try to describe it to you. I'm going to kill this. Bear with me 1 second. Share screen. This is my LinkedIn feed. Can you see on the right-hand side there? It's a promoted post encouraging me to explore employment opportunities with ISG. That would be the same ISG that has just gone tits up about a week ago, owing £100 million. Well done for keeping your finger on the pulse there, LinkedIn. Good work, fellas. I'll take that away. Yeah, so but going back to my point, I wonder if we do enough to appreciate good service when we receive it. I do genuinely believe that the American system, I don't know if anybody's been to the States recently, but you now receive, you go for lunch or dinner, whatever, you receive your bill, and here is the cost, $50. And at the bottom, they've calculated 3 different levels of tip. You don't have to tip, although, it's kind of expected, but you don't have to. But they've pre-calculated the tips at, I think they do 15, 20, and 25%. And, because I know how the system works, I was generally going for the 20%, unless it was exceptional service, in which case it was 25%. I did draw a distinction. There was a place that I was going for coffee in the morning where you basically go to the till, pay for your coffee, and they hand you a cup, and then you go and serve yourself with the coffee. I wasn't paying a tip for that. I realised that's probably expected in America, but that felt like a step too far. I was pouring my own coffee. What service have I received? So I was going for 0% on that. Criticise me if you will. But by and large, it was 20 or 25%. But I genuinely don't believe that was the only driver of the service that we received. I think there was it's like the American thing of have a nice day. If somebody says have a nice day here in the UK, it always sounds scripted. Like, and when a customer leaves, you must say have a nice day. Whereas in America, they say, and it just, even though they've said it 1,000 times in a day, it still sounds genuine, and it is. I say it again. It's a mindset. It is purely a mindset. Let's have a look. What have we got here? Dan Cullen says, that's the thing no employees do. That's the thing no employers do is give productive employees a bonus. I worked for a company a few years ago, got a £1,000 bonus at Christmas, made me stay there for that year. They gave it to all their guys, which is nice to hear. I don't even think it's necessarily financial. I've worked in companies long while ago now, but I've worked in publishing companies where just a thank you from the editor or the publisher, that was a cracking article, or well done on uncovering that, or whatever it might be. You just feel 10 feet tall. You really do. Now it's bonus to the CEO pocket who sits in an office. Yeah. And again, I mean, going back to Dan's point about receiving a bonus at Christmas makes you feel all warm and fuzzy. If you don't receive a bonus, or if you see that your employer is receiving huge financial bonuses at the end of the year and you're receiving bugger all, and you're not necessarily even getting a pay rise to keep up with the cost of the rising cost of living, that's going to have the opposite effect. It's rather than feeling loyal, you're looking for the next exit. Gary Muir says, a job well done at the end of the week goes a long way. We're not looking for a big bonus, just a little thank you. Yeah, a little thank you goes a long way, doesn't it? Really does. And I've noticed this recently, and I'm not going to use this as an advert, but we've got our Buy Me a Coffee system going on, which basically allows viewers and readers and listeners to leave us a tip. £3, £5, whatever it might be. And the number of people, and I do find it very, very surprising. We have a system in place where you can become a paying member, and you'll get membership bonuses and stuff like that. But we've only got a couple of those that have ever actually been bought. What we do have on a fairly regular basis is we just get somebody will send me £3, £5, £10 to say, really enjoyed that thing, or yes, you were right, here's a tip, or whatever it might be. And I can demand, however much, hundreds or thousands to do a video or an advert or whatever it might be. But somebody sending you £10 just as a pat on the back for doing your job, it just leaves you feeling warm and fuzzy. Mindset. Just as COVID hit, that company called it a day, and he wasn't happy the way the industry was going, and he got out. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking that the other day. We've mentioned the fact that there's another company going down today. I think it was Dan actually said it. There you are, Extra Space Solutions, who I don't know, gone into administration, loss of up to 100 jobs. Obviously, when you do hit the financial buffers, there's not a great deal you can do about it. But I wonder if everybody is fighting as hard now as perhaps they once did. I was thinking this with Redhead Demolitions as an example. I'm sure they have hit the buffers. I'm sure that they've made the right decision in calling it a day, and maybe it is just, they've gone too far, and the time has come to just say enough is enough. We can't do any more. But I also wonder if the industry has become so tough, so demanding, that even if you could fight, you kind of lack the will. It's like, do I really want to save this, or would I be better off just cutting my losses and calling it a day and going to do something else or just retiring early. Let's have a look. Jim Turner says, it's acknowledgement, whether financial or personal, it goes a long way. My gaffer always comes on site and shakes my hand, thanks me before he leaves. And I appreciate that. It means a lot, doesn't it? It means a lot. So some of the ones that I enjoy the most, I think, particularly when you go to exhibitions and you bump into somebody you haven't seen before or possibly haven't met before, and they tend to remember stuff that I've done, be it a video or an article or whatever. They remember it better than I do. And they'll come up and remember that thing that you wrote or that thing that you said about so-and-so. That really resonated with me. And I'm sat there thinking, I don't remember that at all. But the fact that they've taken the time to come and say thank you or, to congratulate or whatever it might be, means the world. Means the world. Gets me out of bed in the morning. Dan Carlin says, one thing I liked about working with Ross, he always said thank you for your effort this week. This week on jobs while I was on with him. Yeah, I spoke to Janet Redhead yesterday. They wanted to do a very quick update on the demise of the company, which is over on demolitionnews.com. You can see that right now. And just there are times, and ISG would be a prime example. I've heard nothing but bad about ISG, about how they treated their supply chain and in general, but subcontractors in particular. And you look at it and you think, well, you had that coming. I feel for the employees. I feel for the supply chain. But frankly, the directors at ISG, by all accounts, were a bunch of shitbags and they deserve everything they got. But then you look at somebody like Redhead Demolitions and you think, oh, that's just not bloody fair. Really isn't fair. Particularly when you think all that went on with the CMA investigation, people with their hand in the till to the tune of 60 million odd quid, and they've all carried on and are thriving. And you've got somebody like a Redhead Demolitions who, kept their nose clean, played by the rules, and have had the shit kicked out of them. Does seem desperately unfair to me. But there you are. That's my thoughts for the day. I'm going to be doing more of this tomorrow and the day after that, and so on down the line. But yeah, that's what we do right here. So if you like that kind of thing, please leave us a tip. No, don't bother about leaving us a tip, but be here tomorrow. We're going to be doing all of this again. We'll be doing day 3 of, I don't know what the content is going to be, but we'll be certainly doing day 3 of MINExpo tomorrow. A week late, but still ahead of most of the competition. And we bothered to go. I was there. I can tell you that for those of you that know your internet type people, let me think. BuildWit, Aaron Witt from BuildWit was there. I bumped into him on the Komatsu stand, I think. In actual fact, somewhere around here, I don't know what I've done with them, but I've actually got some BuildWit stickers here, I think. If anyone would like a BuildWit sticker, let me know, because I've got some of those kicking around. I'm saying I've got them kicking around. I don't know quite what I've done with them, but I think they're here somewhere. I'll dig those out if anyone would like that. And Gary Muirhead said, is it this week the DIDCOT update is happening? I don't know if it's this week. I know it's supposed to be this month, but I don't know if it's this week. The employers that have talked to me and thanked me for the work I've done always call and see if they've got anything going. They get in touch with me regularly to see if I'm working. It works better that way. Even if you for one reason or another, the job comes to an end and you end up going down the road to work with somebody else. The fact that you've left that employer with a warm feeling towards you, and you leave with a warm feeling towards them, because we know how this industry works. Sooner or later, somebody will be looking for work or will be looking for workers. Much rather call on somebody that is to be reliable and to be loyal. Have a great day, guys, and stay safe and dry. Still no work due to weather. Yes, indeed, Dan. Do try to stay dry. I'm not planning to go out of the house at all today. You're only as good as your last job. Thankfully, my last job was for me, and therefore I can let my standards slip because, well, I'll have a BuildWit sticker. Now I'm going to have to go and find them, Dan, aren't I? Yes, I will dig them out and I'll do what I can. Tell you more about that tomorrow. In the meantime, everybody, please have a good day. Remember, it's all a matter of mindset, apparently. I'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. for more of the same. Till then, look after yourselves.